What is up, comic community, and welcome to the Legion of Comics. I'm back again with another huge new comic book day week, and this time it's for February 24th. So let's get right into it and check out some of these great titles coming out. But before we do that, check this out. So as always, if you haven't already, be sure to go ahead and hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell. It's really important. I'm creeping up on 500 subscribers a lot quicker than I suspected. So I'm working on getting the next giveaway ready and figured out so that I'll be able to announce that as soon as we hit that point. But as always, you do have to be a subscriber in order to win any of the prizes. So just so you don't miss out, double check, make sure you've smashed that button already. And if you want to check out my Instagram or my Facebook page, the links to those are in the description below this video. So, as always, let's go through and take a look at some awesome titles that are coming out. We're going to start out with what I actually have on my pull list, what will be in my box waiting for me this coming week. And right off the bat, I like to start it off with DC. And of course, they have the huge future state going on. And let's check out which titles are dropping this week. So, first up, we have the conclusion and the finale to the big Batman story arc. We have Dark Detective #4 by Mariko Tamaki. And this one is a $5.99 book. It's oversized and it's got the backup story in it for Red Hood. And that last one was really cool. And DC has just announced that they're going to continue his story arc. In a few months, there will be a future state title called Gotham, where it just kind of tracks what he's been up to. So I'm excited to see how this all plays out with with Peacekeeper #1 and with the Magistrate. And the cover of this kind of reminds me of Luke and Vader inside the Death Star fighting, so that's pretty cool. Next up, we have Batman Superman issue #2. I really enjoyed that first issue. It kind of took us back to the early stages of Future State, kind of before the Magistrate had taken complete control over Gotham, and it felt like just a classic Batman Superman story. And so this is just a 2-issue one. It's just a regular $3.99 book. I'm looking forward to adding that one to the list this week. And then we have Suicide Squad issue #2. So that first one was a little odd. It started out in one direction and then went in a completely different direction. So it looked like they kind of introduced us to the real Suicide Squad team at the end of the first one. So we're going to have two different teams going head to head against each other. And this one is written by Robbie Thompson. It is a $5.99 book and it has a backup story of Black Adam. Now, I know that after Shazam from last week, it said to be continued in Future State Black Adam. So I'm thinking that this will be the Black Adam story that picks up from the Flash that went into Titans, that went into Shazam, that now should be going into this Black Adam story. So if you were reading any of those titles, Flash, Titan, Shazam, you might want to triple think picking this one right here up. This book right here might have the conclusion to that story. Hint, hint. Next up, we have one that I wasn't expecting to be as good as it was. It was really cool. I really enjoyed that first issue of Superman versus Imperious Lex. We have Lex off on his own planet where he's kind of just ruled the planet by fear, lies, and murder. And they think that he is their friend, that he is awesome. They all hate Superman due to the huge propaganda machine that Lex Luthor has fueled on that planet. So it turns out Lex needs his help, and he kind of tricks Superman and this committee of peacekeepers, these united planets in the galaxy kind of thing, to allow Lex into it. And so Superman and Lois have been tasked with going to retrieve his invitation and invited in. And it's going to get weird. It's going to get twisty. It's very political, but it's also very fun. And that awesome propaganda style cover with Superman having Lex under his boot, like Lex is the savior of this little kid. It's really cool. Lex Luthor is always a fun villain, super, super smart, the perfect nemesis for somebody like Superman. So next up, we have one that I'm also excited about. If you're catching a trend here, I'm excited about a lot of these. They've been a lot better than anyone expected, including myself. And Aquaman #2 has been no different. They introduced some awesome concepts of this cosmic ocean that connects all these worlds and everything. And we have Aquaman down there, as well as Aqua Woman. Don't call her Aqua Girl. That's Arthur's daughter right there. And they're just on a mission, man. And it was pretty cool just seeing these characters in action. It was a lot heavier than I expected, a lot more violent, and I'm ready to see them fire up. Next, we have issue 1, and I think it's a one and done of Superman House of El. Now, this one is going to be a $5.99 book. It's oversized. There are no backup stories. That's why I think it might be a one and done book. But it's down the road. It's in the future. Getting Iron Man. It's down the road. It's in the future, way, way down the road. As you see there, you have Kal-El front and center. He's always got a beard, and he's surrounded by his family members. So I'm not going to get into who they might be or who they are or anything. I did read the solicitation on this one, and I don't want to get into it because it itself contains spoilers. But if you want to see what Superman's up to in the distant future, and it looks like this might be somewhere between the story arcs of where we've seen him and in the Immortal Wonder Woman title, because the suit he's rocking in that is very reminiscent, including the beard of how he showed up in Immortal Wonder Woman. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. Next, we have Legion of Superheroes, issue number 2 by Brian Michael Bendis, and this is a $3.99 book, and I'm not excited about it. That last one was kind of a jumbled mess. It was, I guess, it was supposed to be an introduction to the team coming back together and kind of seeing where they were at, but it was just too much going on. It was too busy. I can't even tell you what it was about, other than the team was just getting together. It was a mess. I'm not looking forward to this. I hope I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm not counting on it, but I will be picking it up just to cap off that story and just to the completist in me. So I do not recommend this book unless you're just the completist. I do not buy this and then say, yeah, Mark said it was good. I did not say this was good. It's the opposite of good. Am I buying it? Yes. Am I sorry? Yes. Can I help it? No. Don't get it. I'll get it for you. I'll tell you it sucks. Next, we have one I'm very excited about. Very. Generations Forged one shot is coming out. Now, this is a one shot, but it is the issue 2 to the Generations title. The first week of January, we had Generation Shattered, which was the big kickoff to the new structuring of the DC universe coming out of Death Metal. And if you read any of these Future State titles, at the beginning of them, they have that little tagline that explains that the heroes have succeeded, but out of the wreckage of Death Metal comes a new universe born, and blah, 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 and the possible futures. Well, this is kind of getting us some footwork and a foundation on how this new omniverse is going to be set up and what's really going on. So you have Commandy, an old version of Booster Gold came to Commandy and gave him like an armband version of Skeets, his little AI companion, and he's been tasked with time hopping to all these different universes and different time eras to put together a team, and it did not go well. He ended up with a team, but not the one he was set out to get. So what we're getting introduced to is this new concept DC is doing of everything counting. All history of DC Comics is canon now. And what better way to explain this new concept than in story format? So what we have, you have a Golden Age Superman. You can see on the cover, we have Crisis issue number 8 or 9 right there with the death of Supergirl. You see Nightfall with Batman getting his back broken by Bane. You see Sinestro up there rocking the Green Lantern visor. You see the death of Superman down there at the bottom. But we have a team comprised of Superboy from the Legion of Superheroes, Golden Age Superman, a Booster Gold from the 90s it looked like. We have Starfire. You have Commandy. You have Steel. It's just an awesome ragtag team. And it looks like there's this new villain that was introduced in the last one that's definitely a cosmic level villain. And I've already talked about how I think that we're going to see a brand new villain introduced right out the gate when we get to this Infinite Frontier, because you have all the heroes and all the villains kind of have came together for this peace after the huge conflict. And you also see some villains appearing in hero titles moving forward into Infinite Frontier. Black Adam being a great example of him being on the Justice League team. And you always know when there's a feature film coming out, they try to forefront some of those characters to get them in the public eye. So that might be a good reason why Black Adam's on that team. But we still have like Lex and the Legion of Doom working with the Justice League and the Watchtower all as one. And they tasked Wally with kind of being like the spearhead of that campaign going on. So there's got to be a bigger problem that all these people have to face in each other. And so they're going to introduce this new Omniverse. We're going to have this new villain I'm suspecting that they're all going to have to come together against. And I think he might have been introduced in Generation Shattered, because a big cosmic level bad guy that these guys are having to deal with, and this whole undoing of the multiverse is happening. It almost reminds me of the antimatter going through the multiverse back in Crisis on Infinite Earths. So I'm excited to actually see what they're doing. There's a lot of little hints and breadcrumbs thrown at us. There's a lot of little teasing that they're doing. So I'm excited to see it actually play out. And I'm wondering if they're going to play it out in this story or just use this as a springboard into the big Infinite Frontier event that's coming up, which isn't a summer event. It's just the name of the new, like, ushering in after Future State. But I love that last one. It's an oversized book, 80-page giant, $9.99. It's square bound. It's just a trade paperback. So you get a lot of bang for your buck. Highly recommend it. Next, we have White Knight Presents Harley Quinn. So I haven't been too happy with this so far. Sean Murphy wrote the first 2 White Knight series. He did an amazing job, amazing artist for Batman. Now he has a hand in this, but his wife Katana Collins is writing it, and it just hasn't been that great of a story. It's nothing wrong with the writing, it's just the actual principle on paper isn't too impressive. And I was really stoked because we did get teased with Jason Todd at the end of the last series. Big Jason Todd fan, finally making it on the cover here. Hopefully we get him in the book and it picks up some steam. But I'm not giving up on it. I'm hoping that it'll turn around and kind of pick up a little bit, but it just hasn't really hit me that great yet. So another one that I wouldn't necessarily recommend until maybe see how it plays out, see if it's worth the payoff. So that's it for the stuff in my pull box for DC, but I do have some other great stuff in there. So let's check out some of those. We have Maestro Warren Packs #2. Very excited for this one. That first series was really cool. It felt a little rushed. So I was happy that they went back to do a secondary series. And this one is a really cool concept. That first series, you really just see him take over the throne. And this one, you see him get settled in the throne. So that's what the whole Pax is. It's a peace, post-apocalyptic existence. It's this little order that he said he's going to either everyone submits to this or it's war. So those are your choices. You can either go to war with Maestro. I call him Maestro, just that's what I call him since I was a kid. You go to war with Maestro, or you adhere to the post-apocalyptic existence order that he has. And the first thing he did was he went back to a band of survivors that were living, that were kind of building up a society. And Aaron Stack, the Machine Man, was there, and he decided to go lay down that Pax order on them first. It did not go well for him. And really, if you survive a fight against Maestro, it was a win. And that's what happened to him. He got humiliated. They all got out of there. He comes crawling out of the rubble, telling his men, don't tell anyone about this. So his first go at it did not go well. So whoever's next on the list for him to go bully, I'm sure it's going to go poorly for them. So I'm really excited to see how that plays out. Another one that I'm not too excited about is Marvel Snapshots Captain Marvel. Now, I started picking these up because Alex Ross was doing a huge initiative, kind of like a callback to his old Marvel series back in the day. And he did like Marvel X, he did Marvel Snapshots, which is the series of one-shots written by different writers with different artists on the interiors, kind of telling a story that's cover character-centric, but focused on the civilians around them. And some of them have been really good, and some of them have just flopped. So I've got two. The last two that came out, I still haven't even read yet. I do intend on reading them. I am going to pick this one up, hoping for the best, expecting the worst, keep them expectations low, and I shouldn't be let down. But it is a gorgeous cover. Alex Ross always knocks him out of the park, one of the greatest. And then we also have Crossover, issue number 4 by Donny Cates. And that last one, we had the reveal that Madman's in the story now. There hasn't been a lot going on that last issue. So hoping it, based on this awesome cover, looks like a cover homage to X-Men there. And maybe that it'll get pumping now that we got a good band of characters and good heroes. And they kind of gave us some of those little Easter eggs that they're building up to. And let's see how it really gets going, get some action in here. There's a lot of room to write a great story with something like this. I'm ready for it to get to it. I'm still excited about it, still pumped. And next we have one that absolutely blew my mind last time it came out. Issue number 5 of Department of Truth flipped the whole series on its head. And I don't know if y'all know Ryan, the new guy. Check out his channel, Nuexgui. New guy. Check out his channel. That last issue literally blew his mind. He couldn't sleep for weeks. And he was just in there spinning theories and thinking about what's real anymore. And that's how this book gets you. It gets you rolling. It's an awesome, awesome book on conspiracies. It's absolutely twist on X-Files, but in the best way possible. And I'm excited to see how they take real history and retcon it and make us question our own very existence. Tynan's doing a great job writing this one, more than he did for Batman. He let me down. Next, we have Something is Killing the Children, issue number 15, also from Tynan, which is an amazing series. I was a little bit late to the game on this one. I picked up those 2 trade paperbacks, jumped right in them, couldn't stop reading, can't get enough of it. I'm excited to see this first story arc in, see what Ellie does, see how she saves the city. We all know she's going to. See what happens to the House of Slaughter, and look forward to that next kind of throwback story arc where we get some info on the House of Slaughter. This has been a fun series. Absolutely movie material or TV show material. I wouldn't say movie, but it'd be great in show format. But if you're not picking this up, go get those trade paperbacks, read it. It is awesome. It is original. Great stuff. So those are all the books I have for certain in my pool box. It always changes. It always varies. I always find something else, or I don't know. And there are some other great books coming out. Some that I do want to point out because I know that a lot of people are reading The King in Black. So I always like to point out those tie-ins that are coming out for that. But we have Symbiote Spider-Man number 4, Black Cat number 3, and we saw from that last issue of King in Black that wasn't exactly too great. It was a lot. It was fun to read. Just really wasn't. Where's the big story we've been waiting on for years and years? But it looks like there was a couple of little events that you could see where they were built up in these tie-ins, but it wasn't really stuff that actually mattered. You had like, I don't know, not even getting into all that. You can watch Steve from Burke Family 54's live stream from this past Thursday if you really want to get a lot of people's thoughts on it, including mine. We kind of broke that book down, what we liked, what we didn't like, and we had a lot of fun doing it. It was a blast. Also, King of Black tie-ins, you have Return of the Valkyries #3 and Namor #4. I am excited to hear about this one because I thought that they were going to go save the Sentry Soul. I like to see him come back because if Noel could rip Sentry in half in 2 panels, there's no way someone like Thor could have held his own against him for as long as he did. Because Sentry's not a little deal character. He's the last stop kind of character you pull out. So I think they did him. I think they did him dirty, just trying to beef up Noel to make him seem like a bigger threat than he turned out to be because he's been getting chumped off all of a sudden. Next we have boom, 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 Amazing Spider-Man #60 and X-Men #18. And yeah, those are straightforward. Then we also have Spawn issue #315, as well as Paranormal Hitman #1. Now, this one I want to point out, this is the #1. New guy also interviewed the creators of this book on his channel, so go check that out. It was a great interview. I'm thinking about picking this one up. It's such a cool concept. They're literally hitmen for dead people. It's awesome. There's a lot of room to make an awesome story in there. There's a lot of history of dead people you can play with that. But there's also a lot of big news on Spawn this week. Todd McFarlane is going to kind of be making the Spawn verse. There's going to be some multiple Spawn titles coming out soon. Donny Cates will be working with it on some of them, it looks like. And then also we have Ice Cream Man issue #23 and Serial issue #2. I want to give a big shout out to Mark Spector Comics. I wanted to make sure to include these on here to let people know about it because he had some raving reviews for this book. And he's the one that I first noticed his cover coming out for. Absolutely creepy, absolutely cool. Go check out his channel as well. Made sure I included these for you, bud. You said they were good, so I want to make sure other people know about them as well. So those are all the ones I really want to point out about what's coming out this coming week. It's definitely not all that's coming out, so be sure to double check those shelves, make sure you didn't miss anything. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything you think I should be reading. I'll be happy to check it out if I haven't already on some form or fashion. And as always, if you want to know what my #1 pick for this week's going to be, go sub up the Comic Vet. Every Sunday, he posts a video where he gets his top pick and I get my top pick, and we present it to you. And for what reason we picked it, whether it be a cover buy, spec reason, sheer story content. But there's a lot of great stuff coming out. And if you don't want to miss out on what we think you need a double look at, check him out. And as always, I do want to thank Paul and Donna at the Augusta Book Exchange. They're the keepers of my comics and the guardians of my pool box. They always make sure everything is safe, secure, and sound. And sitting there waiting on me when I get there. You'll never find better customer service anywhere. Be sure to check them out on Facebook. All right, guys. So that is it for this week. Appreciate everyone checking out the video. Let me know what you're picking up. Be sure to hit that thumbs up on your way out. Share this video. Let people know we're getting close to that 500 subscriber mark. As soon as we get there, I'll announce what the next giveaway is. Thank you for everybody tuning in. And as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.